The energy levels are fantastic, phenomenal. When I go climbing, I feel like instead of climbing for an hour, I can do an hour and a half or 2 hours. When I go mountain biking, I mix 20% of it in with my water. It keeps me really hydrated longer. The benefits are amazing.
I've just found that my moods throughout the day is more even. There are times during the days when you feel the grizzly bear coming on, and this product, since I'm taking it, I don't feel that anymore. I feel alive, bubbly, right throughout the whole day.
I was tired, exhausted, with working as a midwife, and I didn't think there was anything else I could do. Somebody said try drinking the aloe gel and it might take 6 or 8 weeks before you feel any benefit, and within 3 weeks my energy soared.
I was an IBS sufferer for 7 or 8 years. I was Mr. Sceptical and said to Claire, who came, the wife, came with the product, said, "I'll have to ask my doctor first." He turned around and said, "Yes, try it if it's good quality aloe from Forever Living products." I wasn't into health and nutrition at the time, and within 3 to 4 weeks I had a fantastic relief of symptoms, and within 6 months I was virtually symptom free.
My husband and his family have a whole history of knee problems. Nobody seems to know what it is. It's just the classic dodgy knees, the classic kind of knees start to hurt whenever you start to do lots of exercise or be on your feet for a long time. And he's actually a guitarist in a band, and when he plays in the band with the heavy guitar strapped to him, he says a lot of knee bending going on in time to the music, and typically he'd come off the stage with his knees hurting. And this would carry on because we wanted to do running. We run, say, 6, maybe 7 times a week sometimes. I suffered with irritable bowel syndrome for 5 years before joining FLP, and I tried everything from the doctors. If anyone ever tells me that it tastes disgusting, they should try slippery elm, which I was told to take with the doctors. It's absolutely disgusting.
I mean, William's 7 weeks old today, and I saw a health visitor last week because William sleeps from 11 o'clock at night to 8 in the morning. She said, "Oh, you've got a good amount of nutrients in your milk then."
I started drinking the aloe, after about 3 weeks. The symptoms started to go. I had really, really bad pains in my stomach before that, and it got to a point that I couldn't even go out some days because it was so bad. And then after about 3 weeks of taking it, I noticed my energy levels had gone up, but the most important thing was the pain had gone. And then 3 days after he started drinking one of the aloe vera drinks, the Bits and Peaches one, the knee problems, the aches and pains vanished.
Towards the end of my army career, I was starting to suffer very severe headaches, and they sent me for all the usual tests, eyes and everything else. Took more x-rays of my neck and found that the arthritis was quite severe, to the point where they put me onto an anti-inflammatory, a very strong anti-inflammatory, which was steroidal based. For the first 8 or 9 months that was fine, and then I started to suffer stomach problems and gullet problems, and within 12 months these tablets had done severe damage, and I was put onto another drug to counteract the side effects of that, and was told then that I'd be on them for life.
In my mid-30s, I had an accident, horse threw me on the road, and I ended up having a long holiday in Stoke Mandeville Hospital, and the consultant put me back together again. And I was in mid-30s, and the guy was possibly about 50, and he said, "You'll be arthritic as you get older." And I thought anything older than 40 looked old, and he looked too old to have any common sense or know anything. And of course he was right, and I got to my 50s and became acutely arthritic. And by the August of '96, I was considering having really invasive surgery. It was the sort of pins driven up through my feet to my knees, stopping me from running, but no pain.
I've been using Forever Freedom since it came out. And prior to using aloe vera products, I used to suffer with the symptom of arthritis in my knees, and it used to be very, very painful. And doctor gave me ibuprofen. I used to take 12 ibuprofen a day because of the pain. And they said if anything doesn't happen, what they can suggest is take the knee cap off and put a plastic one on. And I was only 20.
Started to drink the gel, the aloe gel. The first few months I didn't really notice a great change, but towards the end of the winter I thought, well, it's been a mild winter, but my neck's a lot freer. And then a month or 2 after that I suddenly realised that I actually felt better than I had done for about 10 years.
For the last 10 years I didn't do any sports because of the pain. didn't do any jogging, anything like that. I used to suffer so bad.
And when the Freedom came onto the market, and I heard how effective the Freedom, the aloe, along with the chondroitin, the glucosamine and the MSM would be, I swapped over. And I have to say, I'm totally pain-free.
I've got excellent benefit out of it. I started to jog on a regular basis, started to go to gym, and plus started to do a few sports as well. And I don't have that pain anymore. I can walk freely without it. I feel fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. I mean, that has changed my life.
I generally have to go to the dentist every 6 months to go to the hygienist, and I normally have to have my teeth scraped, which is not very pleasant, as I'm sure you'll agree. And I have found actually in using the tooth gel that I don't have to do that very often at all. I mean, I still go to the hygienist, but I don't have to have my teeth done. And I had bleeding gums. That was a problem I'd always had, and that's very much now pretty much I've knocked that on the head.
I never go anywhere without bee pollen. I've always got it in my bag. And I think I'm a mother of 3. I run this business. I'm also a maths tutor. I run a small maths school. I'm a busy woman, and just having those in my bag is fantastic. Just a few, 2 or 3 of those, and I'm up and off again.
We take it all year round, and I think that's important because you've got to build up then, you're desensitising yourself. You don't have to suddenly start before the hay fever season.
My eldest daughter is the one who goes out clubbing rather a lot, except she's now gone to university and is clubbing all the time, I presume. And she wouldn't go without the bee pollen. And I didn't know about it until she kept asking for more bee pollen to take out, and then more bee pollen to take out, and I was asking her what she was doing with it, and she said it gave her a buzz and plenty of energy, and she was...
Several years ago, I was suffering very badly from eczema on my hands and my feet. In fact, I remember it being so bad on my hands, the skin was just so raw and broken that I couldn't do, and I remember not being able to do up the buttons on my coat, for example, and I had to wear cotton gloves on my sort of around the house when it was at its worst, and nothing was working. I was slapping on steroid creams, and even they weren't doing anything. I just was at my wit's end. I thought, how odd, I'm drinking something for my skin, but hey, I don't care, I'm desperate, I'm willing to try anything, any light at the end of the tunnel. Probably after a few weeks, maybe about a month, I realised that something was happening. The itching was getting less, my skin was starting to heal, and I realised something was happening because of this drink. And also, I should add that he asked me to try the populist cream as well, as that I could slap as much of that on as I wanted, no side effects, no worries. So I did use the 2 in combination, and after a good couple of months my skin had started to heal, and I was, for the first time for maybe 10-12 years, I felt hopeful that I could do something about this horrible condition. I looked down and my hands were unrecognisable almost. And I think, how can people imagine that no, she doesn't really suffer from eczema, you can't see it, but they are like new hands.
And when William was born, William had terrible skin, and we referred to a specialist because they didn't know what was wrong with him, and kept me in hospital for a couple of days. It was scarlet red, and he had sort of pimples on his cheeks, and his eyes were closed, his face was so swollen he didn't open his eyes for 2 days. It was awful. And it was not just on his face but all over. He had sort of a rash, little spots, and he was very distressed by it all. And every time I fed him and held him, it made it worse, made it more red, and it's awful. And I just thought, let me get home, put the propolis on it, because I know what to put on it. And I did. And within 3 days, when I was supposed to go back and see the specialist, I cancelled the appointment.